Standing here with Palm Desert High School senior, I was going to say striker, but it's more of a midfielder. But senior standout for the Palm Desert Lady Aztecs, Jane Jordan. How's it going, Jane?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Great. And I will point out, as your coach just did, of course, she is currently at Lady Aztec, but she is rocking the UCR gear. Before we get into your team, tell us a little bit about the decision you made to play for UCR.
Last year, I think it was this time actually, late January. I was blessed to get the offer from UC Riverside. Super pumped about that. I just think it's a great place to be, especially because it's D1 and it's close to home. And that was the main factors for me that helped me, and the coach, of course. But
I will say this too, kind of a cool note in the last week or so, that the D1 arena of athletics is growing over the next couple of years. With Cal Baptist University is going to be making the jump to Division I. Usually has a pretty good soccer program, having played in the NAIA for so many years. Have you been following that jump for them and them joining the Western Athletic Conference?
Actually, yeah, because one of my girls on my team from last year, she goes there, so she's super pumped about that. And, yeah, I think it'll be a good competition.
Tell us a little bit about this year. You and I spoke about a year ago, and you were super excited about last season. I think I had a pretty good run for the Lady Aztecs. The run continues here in 2017 and part of the 16-17 season. You have your rival coming up actually tomorrow, right when about this will air. Tell us a little bit about your rivalry with La Quinta High School. And, well, as always, every single year, man, it just happens to kind of play into the DVL race for the championship.
Yeah, us and La Quinta, we're always battling it out. It's always a great game to watch, but tomorrow's going to be a little more interesting since it's supposed to, rain in like 2 inches during the game. So, I mean, that's going to play a huge factor in, like, taking bad bounces. But last game, it was a great game. It was probably one of the best games I've ever been in, actually. I feel like we just need to try our best and play how we can, and I know we'll come out on top.
Real quick before we talk about some of the players on your team, I want to also talk about another team that joined the DVL this year and usually is a pretty solid girls soccer program, and that is Shadow Hills. As a senior, kind of a leader on this team and also kind of a role model in soccer in the Coachella Valley, what do you think of adding Shadow Hills to the DVL this year?
I think it was great, honestly, because now we just have one more competition that we need to focus on because obviously they have a great program there, not only for soccer but for softball, for football. It's just all-around good team. But honestly, Coachella had a pretty good soccer program, so, I mean, I think it'll only just make us better having one more better team out there, kind of like to face and look forward to. So we're always in shape, always focusing on the next game, not dwelling like, oh, we don't have to worry about it. Like, every game is important, basically.
Real quick, tell us, as a senior on this team, tell us a little bit about the other girls on this team that kind of brings this cohesive unit together and makes it every single year a challenge for the DVL championship.
You know what? We have a lot of great players on this team. A lot of young players, actually. We have Casey. She's only a sophomore, actually. She started her freshman year. We have a solid back line, especially for next year, since I'm the only senior. But me, Alyssa, Afton, you know, all the seniors on this team, Alex, we're all focusing on one goal, and that's La Quinta and CIF. So we're looking forward to it.
I was just going to say, we'll close on this. Obviously, you want to every year have a go for the DVL championship. Is this a DVL championship quality team, and is this a CIF championship quality team?
You know what? I think every year, freshman, sophomore, and junior and senior year, we all could have taken DVL. You know what? We always come up one goal short, and just in those final minutes. But I think this year will prevail.
Jane Jordan, middle back? Center back. I'm sorry. Got to get those names right. Center back for the Lady Aztecs. They take on La Quinta High School tomorrow night, or tonight, whatever this happens to air, and should be a great matchup. Joined now by Alex Fabela, the senior goalkeeper for the Lady Aztecs, who actually is a little banged up, but nonetheless ready to go. I would imagine ready to go for tomorrow.
Oh, for sure.
Tell us a little bit about the season. I mean, you never think of the goaltender. Most of the game sits back a little bit, watches the game develop. How in the world did a goaltender, a vicious position, mind you, get injured?
Actually, it was at practice, and we were just going on a 1v1, and I don't know, it happens sometimes. It's unfortunate, but that's just how it is.
Well, it just shows that you're a hard worker and you take a lot of pride and passion in what you do. Um, we just talked with Jane a little bit about how talented this team is. Like I said before, you really get to see everything on the field. I mean, you probably have the best position on the field, probably better than your coach who's on the sidelines, and seeing the game, seeing the plays develop. Tell us a little bit about your team. Start with the back line, your defenders that, let's face it, that make you look good, and then that center, and then those strikers.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's just one of the aspects of my position that I love. I get to dictate the whole game basically. I dictate starting with the back line, tell them how to position themselves when there's a breakaway, and but previous to the back line, I start with the forwards when they have a man on, like simple stuff like that, or when to turn when they're an open play like that. Whenever I see that, and then it goes to the midfield, same thing, and then the back line is more just their positioning, making sure that we have everyone covered and that just no mistakes happen. And then, but there are going to be mistakes. Mistakes happen. There's going to be 1v1s. There's going to be breakaways, and that's okay because they have me.
I like the confidence. Obviously, every single year, this rivalry becomes more and more important. I mean, every game, I know your coach will tell you every single game is important, and it is. Obviously, you had a big win against Indio. I know they're in a down year, but a big win for the Lady Aztecs over the Lady Rajas, 9-0 earlier this week. But this La Quinta matchup always seems to be a driving force in determining the Desert Valley League Championship, and they always manage to have a good defense in their own right and a good goaltender in their own right, but they also have very good strikers. Tell us a little bit about, you've already played La Quinta once this year. Tell us about what you will be facing if you do play tomorrow, or if not, what Palm Desert's defense is going to face in the form of the La Quinta front line.
Right. Well, like you said, it's just another game. We don't really overthink it. We always come out 100%, but the last time we had played them, yeah, they do have good forwards. I mean, they're very fast, they're physical, they're talented, and it just makes the game even more fun because now I'm going against talented players, and they test me, and I like that. I appreciate it.
Real quick, too, obviously being a senior, and we've mentioned before that you have committed to Cal State San Marcos, so going to go down to San Diego and have some fun down there. Don't have too much fun at the beach. There's a lot of work to be done. But what led you to make the decision to go to Cal State San Marcos, a well-known school, but it's not as well known in the Cal State system, but it's still a very good school. What made you go that direction?
Well, when I had my visit, the coaches were just extremely nice, and they were very welcoming. And well, before I look at a college, before I think about committing, I look at academics first of all because that's the most important. And they had what I wanted to study. They had a good program. And then I looked at the coaches. Do I really get along with them? And I got along with them super well on the visit. And then they actually play the same way I play, their formation and everything. I was like, okay, this is perfect. I don't even have to adjust the way I play. So I really liked it there.
One of the few things that gets overlooked in a visit to a college is the style of play. I would have never thought about that. Real quick, before I let you go and be back to the trainer or back with your team, tell us a little bit in your mind. Tell us specifically some of the girls that made this such a great team this year, whether it be some of the seniors or some of the up and coming players like the underclassmen.
This team is great. I mean, all of us are great. We make it a great team. Every one of us is very important. I would say our captains, they did a lot this year. They really showed up. Janie and America, they're our driving force. They make sure we're always doing what we're supposed to be doing, and then they motivate us before games and everything. Their little prep talks. It's funny, but yeah, it definitely motivates us, and we do well together.
Last question on this one, being that you're a goaltender, and a lot of times the game, not to say that it's not all physical, it is a very mental position. What do you do? What's a pre-game ritual to get yourself mentally right for a soccer game?
Honestly, I just replay everything that my dad tells me because we've had a lot of years of him basically coaching me, and he always sits aligned with me in the goal. And I basically just replay everything, what I'm supposed to be doing, just talk to myself, basically. And I just sit there, and I think about it, and then I do my little jumps, I hit the post, and then I just get pumped, and that's it. Then it's just game mode, and I focus in on the game.
Always a pleasure to catch up with a goaltender, one of the most important, if not the most important position on the field, because you can score goals all day long, but you got to have someone that's talented to stop them from scoring goals. And of course, the senior keeper for Palm Desert is one of the best here in the Coachella Valley. Alex, thank you so much for doing that.